Today we are going to learn about Islamic banking and conventional banking.
Meet the amazing team behind this project. Haziq, our creative thinker. Atika, our data guru. Shari'Ah, the design expert. Nur Naneli, our strategist. And lastly, Amila, our dynamic presenter. We are in the team and let's dive in.
What is Islamic banking? Islamic banking operates according to the principle of Shari'ah law that we call as Islamic law. For conventional banking, it operates on capital's principle without religious constraints. Here are the fundamental differences between Islamic banking and conventional banking. Shari'ah compliance versus secular practice. For Islamic banking, it follows Shari'ah law that prohibits interest, riba, uncertainty, gharar, and investment in haram industry. For conventional banking, it operates on secular principle with no such restriction. Then we go to the next one is interest-free versus interest-based. For Islamic banking, it prohibits interest using profit sharing, we call as mudarabah, or trader-based as murabah models. And for conventional banking also, it relies on interest for loan and deposit.
Next, we move to the third difference between Islamic banking and conventional banking that tells us about risk sharing versus risk transfer. As you can see, for the Islamic banking, state that it can emphasize share risk and accept big transaction. And for the conventional banking, it states that conventional banking may transfer risk to borrower and often involve in speculative activities. Next, we move to the ethical investment between Islamic banking and conventional banking. As we can see, Islamic banking states that it only can invest in halal sectors. Then, it also need to avoid gambling, and it also use speculative practices based on critical thinking. Then, for the conventional banking, it can only invest based on profitability that is measured of how efficiently the bank use their assets, and regardless of ethics, or known as a set of moral principles. Last, for the fundamental differences in principles between Islamic banking and conventional banking is about social responsibility. In this part, Islamic banking is responsible to promote fairness and welfare through practices. For example, zakat practices. For conventional banking, it only focuses on making profit that use the CSR initiative.
Next, we're going to see an analysis on how these principles reflect ethical and professional conduct in financial dealings. There are 6 factors that show how Shari'ah principles reflect toward ethics and professional. The first one is prohibition of riba. Second one is the avoidance of economic activities involving speculation. Third, halal investment. Fourth, emphasis on fairness and justice. Next, social responsibilities. And lastly, the transparency and accountability. First, we're going to discuss on prohibition of riba, which is known as interest, under ethics and professional conduct. Under ethics, it eliminates exploitation by ensuring fairness, transparency, and social responsibility in financial systems. For professionalism, it encourages profit-sharing mechanisms to foster fairness and equitable distribution of wealth. Next, we're going to see on how prohibition of gharar, which is uncertainty, works under ethical and professional contexts. Under ethics, it focuses on transparency and honesty to eliminate doubt and ensure clarity in transactions or decisions. For professional, it promotes trust and accountability among all parties to foster strong and reliable relationships. Moreover, we're also going to see on the principles of halal investment and how it focuses on ethics and professionalism. Under ethic, it emphasizes a socially responsible sector by investing in areas that benefit society and avoid harm, for example, in healthcare sector or education. For professionalism, it stresses the importance of maintaining the financial institution's credibility by ensuring trust and compliance with Shari'ah principles.
For the fourth point of factors, fairness and justice are central to Shari'ah-compliant financial dealings. Contract must be equitable and no party should be exploited. From ethic perspective, it protects vulnerable parties and reflects the core values of fairness, mutual respect, and cooperation. From a professional perspective, this fosters trust and long-term relationships by ensuring transparency and impartiality aligned with the idea of partnership and collaborative risk sharing. The fifth factor of how Shari'ah principles reflect toward professional and ethical is social responsibility, which encourage financial institutions and individuals to contribute to societal welfare. Ethically, it reflects compassion and accountability by redistributing wealth through mechanisms like zakat and addressing societal inequalities, which means it will also encouraging the community well-being. Professionally, this aligns business objectives with corporate social responsibility, enhancing reputation and stakeholder trust. Finally, we have transparency and accountability, which are crucial for building trust in financial transactions. Ethically, it promotes honesty and responsibility, reinforcing the importance of accurate reporting and fair practice, which lead to a clear and free of misrepresentation. From professional aspect, this principle ensures that all dealings are clearly documented and communicated, compliant with both Shari'ah and modern government standards.
So, here's the example of banking practice in Malaysian context. Banking practice divide into two, which is Islamic banking and conventional banking practice. First of all, we're going to talk about Islamic banking practice. The first example is Maybank Islamic Murabah financing. Customers purchase home with bank assistance using an asset-backed and profit-sharing model instead of using interest-based loan. Second is Bank Islam Mudarabah saving accounts. In this bank, depositors share profit based on pre-agreed ratios, reflecting fairness and risk sharing. Furthermore, the next banking practice is conventional banking. So, the first example is CIMB Bank fixed deposits. CIMB Bank offers customers fixed interest rate on their deposits, emphasizing stable returns without sharing risk. Then, the next example of conventional banking is public banks personal loans. Here, loans are provided with interest, where customers bear to full repayment responsibility. It is reflecting a risk transfer model. I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching.